Okay. Building your personalized college list. These are the colleges that you're going to be emailing, the coaches you're going to be emailing. It's real important that you create yourself a list, and you have to create a realistic list. So let's go through the different things you need to be considering when you're creating this list. Number one is your athletic fit. Is this a school you have a probability of getting playtime? There's your skill set. Are you reaching for schools that are above your skill set? The idea is to get to a school where you're going to get playtime. Unless you want to go and practice all the time and not play for 2 years or 3 years or sit the bench for all 4 years, if you don't get cut. So make sure it's an athletic fit, that it fits your skill level. You got to understand roster needs. Every college coach is recruiting a certain number of players for each position from each grad year. So 2026 grad year next year, a lot of the top level schools have already filled those spots with 2026 grads. Unless you're an absolute stud, and they may still offer you, but the reality is they're not really looking for 2026 grads at a lot of schools. Doesn't mean if you're a 2026 grad, you won't get recruited. Just means your window or your opportunity at schools, the amount of schools is going to be limited. So always look for schools that are within your, that fit your skill level, fit the opportunity to play, and they might have roster needs. You can look at their websites, look at their current roster, see, how many guys are graduating, how many guys they took from the previous year. There's ways to go about it, but that's number one. Next thing is your academic fit. Do they have your major? So number one, you're going to college. Most of you who are going to play college baseball will never make it to the MLB. So you're going to college. Hopefully you're going there to get a degree so that you can then build the rest of your life from there, and you get to play baseball while you're doing it. So make sure you're choosing a college that has the major that you're looking for. If you're looking for engineering, if you're looking for accounting, if you're looking to be a teacher, just make sure they have your degree. Otherwise, it might not be worth even trying to go to that school. Unless your only goal is to play college baseball, and then you got you don't necessarily think you need that degree. That's a conversation to have with your parents. But no, I'm just going to say you should make sure they have the major that you're interested in. Next one is the financial fit. Some schools are a lot more expensive than other schools. JUCOs generally are less expensive. You're not going to get a full ride. That's for 99.9% of you are not getting a full ride to play baseball. Most schools will offer you some academic money and some athletic money. Unless you're going D3, they only offer academic money. But that usually doesn't cover everything. So there's going to be some outlay, whether it's you having to pay for it yourself or you with the help of your parents or your parents are paying for it. But, if you're going to a $100,000 school and you're getting $40,000 or $50,000 in scholarship, can you come up with the rest? Obviously, that's an exaggeration. Just to give you an example, my son's school is $27,000 all in with room and board and everything else. Once he had his academic scholarship and his athletic scholarship, it cost me about $6,000 a year, which to me was feasible. It was the same as going to a state school for the most part here in Florida. So he went to play at an NAIA school in Tennessee. And so it worked out financially. It was an academic fit. It was a baseball fit for him, and it worked out great. He's since graduated. The other thing is cultural fit. This is where campus visits come in. You want to make sure you're going to enjoy going there, whether it's near a big city, whether it's a suburban campus, whether it's a much more of a rural campus in the middle of nowhere, that kind of thing. You want to make sure it fits you. You're going to be able to, basically, I'll tell you this. You should choose a school that if after your first year you decide not to play baseball anymore, you still want to go to school there. That's a good scenario to think about. If I wasn't playing baseball, would I still want to go to this school? Would I still have fun? Would I still learn? Would I still do what I wanted to do? So just make sure it's a fit for all those. Some people you need to take into consideration the distance from your house. Some people don't want to be far away. They want to be somewhat close to their family so their family can come watch them play. I live in Florida. My son went to Tennessee. It was 12-hour drive, 11-hour drive. Luckily for me, I got a lot of opportunities to go up there and drive up there and see him. But my wife didn't. And I know of other players that played with my son that out of Florida that went to Minnesota or went to up to New York or other states that are far away, and that was their decision. And then there were others that wanted to stay within Florida. So make sure distance-wise from your home, how far are you willing to travel? Weather plays a consideration. We growing up in Florida, cold weather states can be difficult if you play in the 90 to 100 degree heat in the summer, and then now you're going to a school where you're playing, in 20 degrees or at least practicing in that kind of weather. So make sure you pay attention to the weather. Are you willing to go where it's cold? If you're from a cold weather state, are you willing to go where it's super hot? Because I can tell you right now, during the summer in Florida, basically from June through the end of October into November, it's hot. So if you don't know if that's going to work for you, take that into consideration. How far away from home, climate, the location of the school, near a city, suburb, rural, however, is it going to fit with your personality? Do you think you're going to be able to survive there and have fun, still learn, play baseball, and just be happy and not calling home saying, hey, I hate this place? That's the last thing you want, is to go to a place where you're calling home saying, I hate this place. And then the other thing is you want to see what you can find out about the coaches in general. If you're looking at 10 schools, take a look, see what you can find out about that coach. Is he liked by his players? Is he respected by his players? Is he known for development? All those kinds of things. So take all those into consideration. I think you should start off with a list of about 15 to 20 schools. Within that 15 to 20 schools, you want to probably have 10 target schools and maybe 5 reach schools. These are probably schools that you're really reaching for, but it's worth a shot. And then I think you should have 5 safety schools. So that's a 20 list. You have 10 target schools, 5 wish I can get there, that kind of thing, and then 5 safety schools that might be, closer to home or just the skill level, that kind of thing. So take a look at that.